Welcome to After the Rain, a storytelling podcast from Playa Lakes Joint Venture. These are the voices stewarding the land and the stories that surface after the rain. In western Kansas, water isn't something people debate in theory. It's something they live with every day. We're kicking off a new series exploring how communities in Kansas Groundwater Management District Number 1 are working together to address water challenges and protect water for future generations. Throughout the series, you'll hear from local leaders, producers, and scientists who are turning conversations and real-world decisions into long-term solutions. To begin, we're setting the stage by explaining the challenges facing western Kansas, the goals moving forward, and a term you'll hear often throughout this series, Q-stable. To help explain it, Katie Durham, GMD1 District Manager, shows how it's all woven together.
Well, our GMD in particular faces both water quality and water quantity problems, mainly water quantity. We are kind of hyper-focused in addressing the decline in the aquifer and making sure that we have water left for future generations, both for agricultural purposes, but for municipal purposes, industrial, stock water, all these factors are hugely important in our economics, and they're very, very tightly woven together.
GMD1 covers about 1.1 million acres across parts of 5 western Kansas counties, a region made up of small communities and an economy deeply tied to agriculture and dependent on water from the Ogallala Aquifer.
It's really important that we plan to have that available in the future.
And that future all comes back to one thing, the aquifer. However, when people hear the word aquifer, many picture a single underground pool of water, something uniform, something shared evenly. But Katie says that picture doesn't match reality.
People typically think that it's a bathtub underneath the ground and that we're all drawing from exactly the same local aquifer system, and it's just not.
Instead, the Ogallala Aquifer changes dramatically across the landscape.
The bedrock actually changes quite a bit. The material in the aquifer changes very quickly in a lot of areas. You might have just better sands and gravels in some and less productive materials in other parts.
Those changes affect how much water is actually available and how efficiently it can be pumped.
Saturated thickness basically equates to available water supply, and then also what the gallon per minute rate is that you're going to experience in that individual area.
In western Kansas, groundwater isn't just an agricultural issue. It's the only water source for nearly everything.
In much of western Kansas, we don't have surface water. So our only water supply, whether it's for municipal use, domestic use, irrigation, stock, industrial, is dependent on the Ogallala.
That's why stabilization matters.
It's important that we stabilize and slow down the depletion and get to a place of stabilization so that we have resources for future generations. Not only is it going to incentivize the economy or agricultural production, but we need drinking water.
Throughout this series, you'll hear the term Q-stable. So what does that actually mean?
Hugely overly simplifying it. Q-stable essentially is a water budget. You have what's available, how much you're extracting, and how much you're getting back both in recharge and lateral inflows.
The goal is equilibrium, not perfection, but balance.
You want to find an equilibrium where you're not pumping or taking out, extracting more than you're able to maintain or recharge.
In GMD1, nearly all groundwater use, close to 97%, is irrigation. That reality puts producers at the center of the conversation.
They are not a one-shoe-size-fits-all solution. They really need to be developed by each local community because the local aquifer system is so dynamic.
Early on, conversations about water conservation often came with fear of losing control or being forced into drastic changes.
I understand that mindset because the reality, it was coming from a lot of fear of the unknown. As we worked through in our region, the outreach meetings and helping people to understand that this was an opportunity for them to have a say in how the plan was developed, I think really helped to ease some of that.
She says one of the most powerful motivators is hearing success stories from neighbors.
That word of mouth, that kind of sharing of experience, it was and continues to be very impactful.
For GMD1, supporting producers means education, data, and navigating options, not pressure.
A lot of it is education. We do a lot of one-on-one consultations every year, going over what programs are available, what resources are out there, what technologies are we seeing, what cost share opportunities does the state or federal have.
And when it comes to Q Stable at the farm level, Katie encourages producers to think long-term.
A similar way of looking at your well as you would like your bank account. So if you understand how much you're pulling out every year and what that effect is, you're going to kind of self-regulate and self-identify what that Q stable looks like for your farm.
Katie says momentum is building because producers can see real examples working and trust the data behind them.
The momentum is there because we are seeing more and more examples of people that have been able to make it work. And we also have data indicating exactly what the aquifer is looking like.
When asked to sum it all up, Katie points to one thing.
Human relationships, building that trust, taking the time to sit down with people and listen to their concerns. People just want to be heard and they want to be a part of the process. They want to understand what the data says and what the options are. But the more you build those relationships and you make the data accessible to people, it just empowers them to want to be a part of the solution.
That empowerment, rooted in data, trust, and local decision-making, is what Q Stable is all about. In our next episode, we'll hear from Brownie Wilson with the Kansas Geological Survey as we explore what happens when information sparks conversations and turns into real-world action on the ground.